whatever. Yeah, I can do without the phone. So, but to be honest, they just don't. Well, it just goes to debt collector, and they don't even. They can even for 60 quid. They're not going to bother to send an engineer around to unplug me. You know. Okay, and this is the sort of letters I get. I wouldn't say on a daily basis. You know, they're beginning to dry up because I did this all a few years ago, and then I rebuilt my credit score, which you can do in about 18 months actually. You're not going to have time to do it now because, of course, I believe the whole caboodle's going to collapse any moment. But this is the sort of thing you get: formal notice, and and they always send you a default notice. If I can be bothered, what I like to do, if anyone sends me a notice, I just send a discharge of notice of formal notice of default or something like that. Just as a notice of discharge of whatever it is, and that always seems to work. So the basic rules here, and as I say,
when you say you just do a discharge, how do you do that?
What I do, I just take one of our sort of standard notices that you understand I am a human being, you know, the ones that we've been using. I just give it a different name. So if they send me a notice of something, I give them a discharge of notice of whatever it is. I don't know whether it's the right thing to do, but I just find it quite amusing. Discharge their notice with my own terms. And of course, you know, they've got, you know, and give them 10 days, 10 days to respond. You know, which is plenty of time. Okay, so we always ask for, like, is anyone here had their own business? Yeah, so there's a few of us had our own business. When you're you're probably doing your paperwork correctly and everything, because I knew I used to try and pay my VAT and everything. But one thing I couldn't get away with, because I was a little bit lax with my paperwork sometimes, and sometimes, I would only have a statement instead of an invoice. So I think, a bookkeeper won't realise. Bung in a statement, there's all the details on there. He said, oh no, that's no good. You can't give a statement. It's got to be an invoice. And of course, if you give someone a statement, it's not actually a demand for money. So you've got to ask for an invoice. And of course, you could ask for it in your name. And of course, we know that your name is different from the legal fiction, the person. So you can put what your name is on the bottom of the letter. And you can put it, put your first names, we tend to hyphenate them. And then of the family of whatever your family is. Okay? Yes, yeah. It's all, Jordan Maxwell will probably have the answer for that one. Yeah. Because that's probably how it was done. I would come to you, demand money, invoice. But I would hope we'd have a lawful contract before we actually... between human beings, yeah. Okay, with debt collectors, ask them for proof of legal agency. And of course, you put all this in a letter and you give them 10 days to respond. The letters are on the website. I'm just about to redo the letters, actually. We're redoing the website at the moment. But the ones on there are great and they work.
Is all this on the website as well?
Yes. Yeah. The website pretty well covers everything. If you've got any questions, there's a forum now, and there's some great guys on the forum, and that are helping each other out. Has anyone been on the forum on the site? Will anyone be? Yeah, I think Nolan, you've been doing some sterling work on the forum, because I've been running around doing the odd talks and stuff, and the amount of time I can spend doing the site. And also, of course, we've got the waffle meetings where we're putting a Free Man on the Land website up as well. So, say again, sorry. Yeah, I can go back. I think, yeah. And these points are covered in the letters on the website as well.
So I've been ignoring all the letters that have been coming to me. Is that the wrong thing to do?
I actually think that's a really good strategy, because half the time I'm doing all this and telling people about it, And it's good fun when you're doing this because you know what you're doing is right. But it's actually a very good strategy to ignore them. Yeah, I wouldn't ignore the summons, you can't call claims, stuff like that, but we can deal with them. I've dealt with them. In fact, there's a gentleman back, Ian Thornley, I believe. He's another waffler down in Dorset. So Wessex Association for Free Men on the Land. And he's been doing sterling work with the courts. Actually tying them up, and it's like the ball comes over the net and he whacks it and it just disappears off into the distance.
What is proof of agency?
Proof of agency would be that they are actually a legal agent. So they would have to show you that they are acting. If it was a solicitor and they were working for a bank, then they would be legal agents. But debt collectors, they're just like bottom feeders. Basically, all the crap that the banks can't be bothered to deal with, they'll chuck it all in a bin, and these guys sniff it out, and they go sort of fishing. What they'll do, they'll send letters out to loads and loads of people. And remember, the caseload for one debt collector is probably about 500 cases at a time, and he'll just like phone them up, and of course they've got computers to phone people up now as well. So, and what they do, they're looking for the weak people that are going to say, oh my God, oh yeah, I'll pay you some money. But I'll deal with debt collectors in a second. Okay, so if they don't respond within 10 days, then they have to agree to your terms. And you send out 3 letters. And you can put whatever terms you like. You can even put a fee schedule in if you want, to say that how much you're going to charge them every time you write them a letter. But basically, it says that you don't owe them anything, or the debt's been paid. That any negative remarks made to a credit scoring agency will be removed. I've yet to actually get them to do that, because of course they don't actually adhere to these terms, because they don't really understand it. And that they will no longer pursue you. Now, I must admit, I do enjoy them pursuing me, because it gives me a lot of satisfaction. I used to live in fear of these guys. I really did. I thought, oh shit, they're phoning up again. I'll get into trouble with my wife. It's like... yeah, it's a lot worse. A lot worse than debt collectors, yeah. Not with one now. Okay, so...
When you say you sent them 3 days,
yeah.
you give them time limit 10 days.
10 days in between.
10 days in between each letter.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
give each letter 10 days to...
That's right. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So, do not under any circumstances speak to them on the phone. Now, I'm actually changing this because you can have a lot of fun with them. If you can't be bothered to talk to them, the best thing to do is just pick the phone up and say, oh, it's so-and-so there, and you say, oh, just 1 minute. You don't say, oh, he's not here, because that'd be lying. We're trying to do everything lawfully, honestly, and truthfully. So what I tend to do, I tend to put the phone down, and just for dramatic effect, I always like creep away really quietly. I don't know why. I was just like, because if he's stomped off, I don't know. So, and then I sort of like sometimes they give it sort of 2.5 minutes is the point where they're getting a little bit bored. It's like, Stephen, are you still there? Oh, sorry, I put the phone. You're still there? It's like, yeah, okay, just 1 moment. And then you can string it out about every 2.5 minutes. Yeah. And you just keep them on. It's great. Because once they're on the phone to you, they're not harassing some other guy that's terrified of them. It's great. And another one that I've been doing recently, when I've got the time, and I do this with debt collectors, I wouldn't bother doing this with banks because the banks tend to use call centres, whereas debt collectors tend to be a little bit smaller. But with debt collectors, what I'm doing now is straight away they'll say, oh, it's so there, and I'll just say, yes, I'm an authorised representative, but before I actually answer any questions, I'd like to actually ask you some security questions. And I'll ask them what their name is, what their job title is, what name of their boss, their direct telephone number, which you normally get